On Modern Forum this week, we continue our discussions on one of the hottest issues in the country's transportation scene. Of course, we're referring to the move of the government to rid our roads of dilapidated vehicles, or what are sometimes referred to as rolling coffins, of vehicles for public transport which continue to spew toxic emissions that are unlawful as per our Clean Air Act, and other vehicles for public transport that are not roadworthy. We're referring to the PUVMP, of the Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program. This long-delayed government move that involves several agencies to see its final fruition, one of which is the Department of Trade and Industry. And this week, we shall put this government agency on the spotlight to get some insights into its involvement in the said program.
The Department of Trade and Industry plays a major role in the implementation of the government's Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program, an ambitious program aimed at making the country's mass transport system efficient, safe, and sustainable. At the core of the PUVMP is the need to replace old, dilapidated, and unsafe public utility vehicles with new units that meet emission and other standards that will make public transport safer and more convenient or more comfortable for commuters. Chief among the PUVs targeted for replacement is the jeepney. Once seen as an icon of Philippine culture and ingenuity, the jeepney is now considered anachronistic and the archetype of unsafe, uncomfortable, and inefficient mode of land transport. Although the government is also adamant about replacing other vehicles used as public utility, buses, school bus or vans, etc. that are more than 15 years old. Initially, the DTI has a twofold role in the PUVMP. One is to set new standards including design features and dimensions for various classes of public utility vehicles meant to replace the jeepney and other modes of land transportation. The second is to support the industry sector that would supply the modern replacements for jeepneys and other public transport modes. Already, the DTI has substantially fulfilled the first task. The DTI, through its Bureau of Public Standards, has issued Philippine national standards for Class 2 and Class 3 PUVs, the two classes of vehicles where jeepneys fall under depending on their use in transporting passengers within the city or metropolis or between cities or municipalities. This is known as PNS 216:2017, which basically sets vehicle exterior and interior dimensions, passenger capacity, seat configuration, door and emergency exit placement, among other regulations. The PNS was drafted in consultation with various stakeholders in government, the academe and private sector organizations, including the Chamber of Automobile Manufacturers of the Philippines Incorporated, as well as other associations representing truck manufacturers, vehicle parts suppliers, and even manufacturers and/or distributors of electric vehicles. A few local motor vehicle bodybuilders and suppliers of vehicle platforms have already come up with prototypes of modern PUVs that comply with PNS 2126:2017. The DTI is now fast-tracking initiatives that fulfill the task of supporting the sector that would supply the transport industry with PNS-compliant public utility vehicles. Early this month, reports indicated that DTI officials, including Trade and Industry Secretary Ramon Lopez, wants to fast-track the issuance of an executive order that would provide subsidies to local body makers of modern PUVs. The issuance of the EO seeking funding for subsidies to makers and distributors of locally assembled modern PUVs is aside from the plan to reallocate funds from the Comprehensive Automotive Resurgence Strategy Program to support the supply side of the PUVMP. The CARS program grants $600 million in tax incentives for 3 participants in the program to encourage the local manufacture or assembly of vehicles. However, only 2 companies, Toyota Motor Philippines Corporation and Mitsubishi Motor Philippines Corporation, have joined the program. The DTI wants the remaining tax incentives under CARS to be shifted to local bodybuilders and local auto parts producers. While saying it was not restricting the importation of PUVs that would support the government's PUV modernization program, the DTI said it preferred that this benefited local motor vehicle bodybuilders and auto parts and platform suppliers. The DTI said it was already ironing out the incentive scheme that would be subject of the EO that would further encourage local manufacturers of vehicles. The DTI is apparently working to hit 2 birds with 1 stone. helping to make the PUVMP as a success while also encouraging the growth of the local manufacture of vehicles.
We have just given you more insights into this bold, radical yet long-delayed government move to modernize public transport through its Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program on this week's Motoring Today's Motoring Forum.